Hello, lovely friends. Welcome and thank you for watching your general signs free monthly tarot reading with me, Lorian. It's December, the final month of 2015. Whether you have had a good or bad journey this year, we've all gone through things together. I think there's been some common ground, some universal consciousness as well. So whatever has been your path this year, I'm sure that we'll be entering 2016 with a little bit of anticipation as to what it's going to bring with us, and also a certain air of renewal. Maybe we want to know what kind of good things we're drawing in. Some of us may be glad to see the back of 2015. Some of us may be, saying goodbye to 2015 with kind of a fond farewell. But I'm sure we'd like to know how we are tying up this year and what sort of energies we're dealing with in this final month. So hopefully it'll be on a high note for a lot of us. If you'd like to get in touch with me for a private reading, all the details are below. I have a website and email address. If you'd like to donate or support me on Patreon, that information is also down below. And thank you very much for everybody who subscribed and liked and shared the videos. I really do appreciate that. Also, just a side note, the site is going to be having a little bit of a switch around. So if you can't find something, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to assist you. So without further ado, let's get on to these December readings. I'm really looking forward to finding out what's in store for all of you. Hello, my lovely Librans. Thank you very much for joining me on your December reading for 2015. We have a different deck this month. I was lucky enough to be sent an absolutely gorgeous deck by a dear friend of mine in America, and it was her first ever tarot deck. And yeah, she said that this seemed like it was meant to be mine. She kind of, it was time to hand it over, and I've been looking for an Arthurian deck for ages. So it was absolutely perfect that she sent it to me. So we're back to the normal one card for each week of the month, along with the Oracle card, and the Oracle card is the Archangel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. And I think the tarot deck is, if I can just find it, Legend, the Arthurian Tarot by Anna Marie Ferguson. So that's wonderful. Just looking at the spread as it falls now for you. Well, a bit of a mixed bag. Just trying to get more of a meditation on it now. Right. You're going to have to change some plans this month. You may try to have some initiative and redirect some certain aspects of your life. You also start to heed some warnings as well, because your intuition is really coming through, and contrary to popular belief, I feel that you are going to be able to make decisions this month, because I think you already know your reputation of not being able to make decisions. You're going to really show what you can do this month. The Eight of Cups in the first week is pretty much abandoning one way in order to go another. Learning things, that may not have seemed good in the first place, but already knowing that this is time for change, that everything's not as it seems, what you need to do to get out there. Look at it. You've got the beast hand coming through the window over an altar. Now, the altar is seen as a place of worship, and also where you can connect with spirit or the universe or whatever you'd like. That's why it's a very strong centerpiece for a lot of religions, and a lot of spirituality too. But I think in this case it's almost like, don't be snared by one way of thinking. Don't be falling into a trap of this is how everybody else does it, so this is how you're supposed to do it. I think that's the thing, because then you kind of fall into the trap of getting grabbed by this claw. So I think that you're standing up to what you feel is the right way, taking the redirection in this week, and really trying to cement a plan together. If you've been trying to organise finances and it's not worked out,
try something different in December. You may be able to do something on the side. Somebody else may come in to assist you with something in particular. Somebody else after them could actually help you with something in particular. So there's lots of different things. And I think also if you've been searching for a relationship as well, it could come in the form of something that you weren't anticipating. A friendship could be ignited, or your friendship with somebody could be called into question, and you kind of walk away from people's expectations. And that's the main thing that I get from the Eight of Cups. You kind of what's the word, say, I'm done with this other people's way of thinking. I'm gonna treat this particular friendship how our friendship is. If your friendship is slinging insults at each other and laughing while you do it, who's anyone else to say that that's wrong? If you're there for each other, that's absolutely wonderful. And I think that you are going to sort things out, both financially and also friendship wise. It could lead to a very social time in the first 2 weeks of December, because looking at the Page of Spears, which is the hare, this is almost like an enthusiastic person around you. So it could be stimulating conversation, and because it's also Spears, which is very much a creation type, is the wands in normal tarot, I get the feeling that this could be intellectual development, or just somebody exciting, somebody very raring to go, this fiery energy. It could also be the arrival of good news, but I get the feeling that it's more an excitable or positive friendship or energy that's around you. Now, in this week, you could have to become a little bit like the hare. You could need to use excess energy and be more personable, upbeat, be somebody who has attention on you. You're quite a sociable person, Libra. As a general rule, a lot of Librans don't like being on their own too long. And speaking as someone with a Libra rising, I'm kind of torn in the middle. Scorpio's very solitary, Libra's very sociable. So I kind of get the understanding of you need to have some friends around you, or you need to feel like you're being your sociable self. And I do get that you are going to have almost like a little bit of a play and an enjoyable interaction within the community or within some other people, even if it's going to a little fair or if it's going to somewhere else. I think to celebrate the end of the year, it's all about connecting with the people again and making sure that things are going forward in the right way. The way that you accomplish this different path, actually, looking at the first week again, it could be by reconnecting with an old friend. So I think this is really going to set you on the road for something a lot better, because we have the Magician in the third week. Now this is, I don't think this is quite Christmas, but it is Yule. And this is all about skill and wisdom in the darkest moments of the month, certainly for the Northern Hemisphere. In the lighter moments for the Southern Hemisphere, you could actually have this spark of creativity or showmanship. You're quite noble, Librans, and if you've ever been drawn towards a kind of darker or damaging path where your pride overtakes you, or you kind of not wanting to be genuine with somebody, I think that could trip you up a little bit. This is the moment now to use your diplomacy, use your communication skill, use your psychic abilities as well, and also your social abilities, because you are effectively directing your life into something a lot better. So it's best to use the skills you have into something that's going to be more beneficial for you overall. There will be some skill here and a little bit of imagination, but be sure to be a little bit decisive. So in the first week where you were like, yes, I'm going to move on, yes, I'm going to choose this path, you have to carry that through the entire month, or else you risk tripping yourself up. Now the Magician is in control, and as you see in the card, he's with a wolf, and it's Merlin. Interestingly enough, he does have a coat full of feathers, and this is falcon feathers, I think, or certainly pheasant feathers, and I feel like he is becoming this sort of cloak and dagger person. He's a lone wolf, he's a lone spirit, and it could be separating your social self from your personal self. I don't think that the two go hand in hand very often. So you could be finding that balance between being with other people and having to be on your own, because a lot of people do go with others for the holidays. So it could be a kind of, oh, I can't spend Christmas with a dear friend of mine, I have to be on my own. That could cause a little bit of solitary, or a little bit of what's the word, melancholy, I think. But don't worry about that, because in the last week of December, I think you will have to find other ways to entertain yourself, because there could be a little bit of limitation here. It's the last week of the new year, of the 2015. You could be just eager to get 2016 started. There could be a little bit of disillusionment, because I think in some ways you've achieved a lot, but you may not have achieved as much as you wanted to. You could feel a little bit unfulfilled, and almost like you've overindulged on things that didn't matter, or a little bit of boredom, a little bit of tedium here. You know, you're not inspired by the lifestyle you lead now, and you're desperate for something different, or you feel like you need a plan for the next year. This is the perfect week then, if you've got nothing to do. Then just focus on the next year. Don't bother looking behind you. You can't really change for what's behind you. Of course, you can look behind to actually learn and make a note of it, but as soon as you've made a note of it, forget it exists, really. Just make that moment of moving on and trying to regain a sense of self. But overall, this month is going to require a lot of patience. So the Oracle card says your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realise, still they need nurturing and patience. So I feel like this is also with yourself rather than other people and the things that are going around you. This could be a moment in this month where you feel like you have done all you can, where you feel like you are moving on to something that it should be or should have been there already, and you're kind of in the middling area. You know, you're not going to be in the middling area for long. Now, for those of you with Libra rising, I get the sense, or even Libra moon, I get the feeling that this is more to do with the back end of things, so things that are underneath the surface. For those with the Libra as a sun sign, these are going to be more prominent and more, not superficial, but on the surface, more direct day-to-day things that you're going to have patience with. But for those with the Libra in their chart as ascendant or moon, it's going to be a little bit under the surface. If you have all three or one or two in the same Libra, it's going to be all of it. So don't worry about this, and don't worry about, trying to make things work. I mean, even as I'm speaking now, I'm in the Northern Hemisphere, and the light, even though it's only 20 to 2 in the afternoon, has dropped significantly. It's like it's suddenly 7 p.m. And I know it's because of the Hurricane Abigail that's coming through. It's come down from Scotland, but there's just this feeling of, as I'm just talking and as I'm getting into the subconscious of it, everything's darkening. And I think that's not something that Librans enjoy particularly. Not as comfortable with it as maybe Scorpio or even Taurus are with the darker side of things. So enjoy this month as best as you can, because it will give you opportunities if you just have patience with it, and other people as well, obviously, because people can be very annoying, but there will be a balance there. You will have time to nurture and grow the seeds of thought and choose this different path in order to promote a different way of being, and also a very stronger way of being. I'm very interested to know what comes up for 2016. We do have a lot of things forecast, I think, if I can remember rightly, but my own 2016 readings will be coming up, should be in December. In the meantime, I do have readings available on my website, which is undergoing a refit, and if you want to get in touch for a more personal reading, just let me know. Emails, all the links to contact me are down below. If you want to support me on Patreon, I'll leave that information there. And as always, thank you so much for your interactions, your comments, and Facebook likes, and whatever else you want to do. It is truly appreciated. I will leave this reading with you. If at any point in time you want to pause the reading just to kind of go over the cards and meditate on them themselves, I would say that's a great idea. It's something that I recommend a lot in my private readings as well, so it could be something that really enlightens you to what your own path is going to be. Create your own story from these cards and then see if you can apply it to December. That could be quite interesting for you. Anyway, I will love you and I will leave you. And I will speak to you all hopefully before New Year. But hopefully you will also have a brilliant December. Take care.